Hello everyone, this is Mark and Liam from Airtight Solutions. Liam is our operations manager. He's a red seal carpenter by trade. He's been building high performance homes for over 10 years now. And we're here to display a couple of pain points that may occur after we're done with our installation process. Some of the trades may damage parts of the ceiling that we do. So we're just here to prevent that and let you guys know of what those points are. So yeah, let's just go in and
so this area in the mechanical room, we have a few pipes here for the furnace and the hot water heater. They are coming through the party wall. We did our spray while these pipes were here, but you can notice that the mechanical contractor has pulled out the pipe, removing the seal around the pipe and creating an air leak in the envelope. So here's an example of the fire seal that the builder is looking for. We applied our sealant when it was like this. Actually, it's come loose a bit after our seal, so that's probably going to be an air leak right there. And we have the same thing over here. We applied our spray, and connecting the pipes together has removed that seal. So the supervisors are going to want to check that and make sure that at the end of the day, when all the trades have gone, that this is still intact. So this area behind the furnace, there's a big hole in the drywall. We got to treat our mechanical rooms like a sealed room with full drywall and vapor barriers where applicable. In this case, we're going to have air leaking coming from various areas from the house. It's going to come through into this room, and it's going to try to escape out of this hole or other holes down here. And then it's going to escape into the garage, or in this case, into an area like this, in this wall. So we had to tape it off. And then it could go in different areas throughout the house, through the ceiling, and potentially out of the soffit, the vented soffit above. So very important to treat mechanical rooms like they're part of our envelope. Here we are at the kitchen of this townhome. This is the party wall between the two units. We did the AeroBarrier spray. There was a wire coming through for the undermount cabinet lighting that we sealed. But after coming back, we see that the electrician has used a hammer, it looks like, to move that wire to the proper location in the cabinet. This drywall is essentially the air barrier between the two units, where there's going to be a barrier between sounds and smells and air coming between the two units. So when you disrupt this with a hammer, you need to make sure to seal that over if you have to do it. In this case, I can feel cold air rushing in, and we haven't pressurized the unit, it's just cold air coming in. So this is going to be a problem. We're going to want to make sure that our party wall is a complete barrier between the two units. Okay, so here we have the vent for the range hood coming out. It looks like it has been moved around, and the seal has broken. So we got to be careful when we are connecting this, or moving around, that we don't break the seal after our spray. And same with this wire. This wire is being moved around and has damaged the seal there. So we want to be careful with moving those things around. So here we are at the party wall. A lot of times the contractor will spray foam at the bottom of the drywall before we spray. And if that spray foam is not cut flush, the flooring guy is going to cut it to allow the space for the flooring. And that, as he cuts it, it could introduce holes in the bottom of the sill plate. So if you're gonna foam this area, we wanna make sure that is nice and flush to the drywall before we come in and spray. So then we can seal all the little gaps that the foam has missed, and then the flooring person can do the flooring without bringing out his knife. Here we're at the party wall again. On any exterior wall and party wall, we want to make sure when the electricians come to finish their connections for their receptacle, is that they take a good amount of care to wire up the receptacle. If they're overly aggressive moving, that can damage the seal where the wire comes into the box. So make sure they're just a little delicate. Ideally, we would want to have the drywall done, then get the painters to put in the primer coat on. Then you have the electricians put in their receptacle plug and plugs, and then we come in and do the spray. Then you guaranteed have the seal, and then nobody's touching it after the spray. So a lot of times we recommend to contractors to treat the ceilings between floors as their envelope, because air will want to a lot of times go through the light as a pathway into the next unit or outside. So if you put a gasketed LED light there, that should slow down that air movement. Or if you do these kind of box lights, wired box lights, we seal that and it'll be fine. The issue is when it's just a big hole in the ceiling, that air wants to go through into the next unit. There's not a lot we can do sometimes. So we want to make sure that there's some kind of sealed unit. When we do our spray, we'll seal all the little holes in this can to make sure it's 100% airtight. This unit is an airtight can. It has a sticker that says it is. But we can seal up all the little micro gaps and cracks in that. And then the wires coming in, we will seal those leaks. No problem. We just want to make sure if you don't have a can light, that it's at least like an LED with a gasketed ring around that can seal to the drywall ceiling, then there should be no issues. So after our spray, we have sealed the stairs. Usually the stairs are a leaky source for many of our units. So a lot of times we will caulk, AeroBarrier and spray foam to get the seal. After us, we want to make sure that the flooring person, the carpenter or the flooring installer doesn't cut our seal. We try to get any foams that we have to use to cut it back flush with the drywall as best as we can. But we want to make sure that the trades behind us do not use these knives, cut that, and then introduce leak back into the home. What the trades can do if they see spray foam in their way, if they can just cut it. If they cut it flush nicely with a sharp knife with the drywall, make sure that the foam is not damaged, then they can proceed with their flooring. We're here in the shower, and sometimes we get leaks after our spray because the plumber has removed some of our spray foam to get their faucets and shower heads installed. So we try to keep our foam as far back away from what they need to do as possible. If they are going to try to cut it, make sure that it is just touched up with a foam can. The reason why it's leaky here is because air is trying to it's the pathway for the air trying to escape. There's usually a big hole around the drain, and the air is trying to go through there and then out through the envelope that way. So we try to seal it behind the wall. And then fixtures are not part of your air barrier. They're just there for looks and functionality. So just make sure that the foam any caulking is intact. Here we have a sprinkler that we sealed AeroBarrier around. We're going to want to make sure that this is intact when they put the finish trims around the sprinkler. So here's the finished look of the sprinklers. This trim, we want it to be nice and tight to the drywall. It's never going to be a perfect seal. Properly, we can't seal up big gaps with spray foam because we can't have the foam touching the pipes. But this trim is reasonably tight, and if it doesn't stick on tight, I would suggest putting a little caulking behind here to make sure that air leak is as minimal as possible, and potentially in this gap as well.